Whether you flatten it, slice it, or cut it into strips, there are many different ways to prepare chicken breast. Here to show us some of those ways is personal chef Bill Collins from chefbill.com. The reason we're talking about this, Chef Bill, is because it's a lot more affordable to buy a chicken breast and cut it up yourself.
It is. It's both affordable, and that's such a huge thing, but also getting what you want when you want it. For instance, we talk about affordable, it's so often more cost-effective to buy in bulk, family packs or whatever. And the chicken today, as always, is from our good friends at Whole Foods in Hadley, and it's just great chicken breast, and I can show you how to do it in bulk, but also if you need a little more, if you need a little less, you can cut exactly what you want. So overall, it works for you and what you need when you need it.
Right, and then you can also get really good quality so that you can make sure that you're feeding your family really good stuff.
Every time.
Whole Foods is what you're all about.
You're so right.
Let's dig into this raw chicken, but we have gloves on.
Yes, because I'm a big fan of wearing gloves when you're handling raw meat in the kitchen, because especially when you've got kids, you're distracted, you need to stop and go to a child who makes a little noise, maybe.
Yeah.
You go running off.
Story of my life.
Really? So
yeah.
You tear the gloves off and you go running off, stopping to wash your hands, so I'm always big on gloves.
Yes.
So, what we have here is a boneless, skinless chicken breast. As you can see, this already has the tender removed. That's a little part that just strips right off in the middle.
Right.
So you can make your own tenders, you can make your own nuggets, and why don't we start with that? So I have a knife here. I don't know if you prefer the shorter knife, that's called a Santoku knife,
right.
Or a 10-inch chef's knife, whichever one you want. I'll use the other. So.
Oh. Okay, I'll take, is it easy? It's probably, I'll take this guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, what you want to do is, if you're doing something like nuggets, you want uniform size. Mm-hmm. So what I tend to do is, because this isn't a uniform sized chicken, is I usually take the end piece and I just kind of cut it like that.
Okay.
And so now you have a rectangle.
Yeah.
And so you can either do bigger nuggets like that, or if you want smaller ones. So
let's say smaller.
So you cut it up the middle.
Okay.
And just kind of cut along this way.
Okay.
And
so this is like division. We did exactly this with M&Ms when we were in 2nd grade.
Well, that's exactly it, because, as I like to say, there will always be some math involved.
Yes.
And so this way you also know how much you're going to get. 1 or 2 kids, 1 piece of chicken breast you saw right here. This gave you 7 or 8, depending on how you slice it, nuggets right there.
Right.
So you can easily do the math, and that way you know how much you want to make in a given day, especially if you buy this in bulk. You're all set, and you can know how much you want to make ahead of time and freeze.
So these are the nuggets.
Those are nuggets. You just drop them in your bowl there.
Got it.
So now, I'm going to show you how to do a stir fry, to cut the chicken for a stir fry.
Okay.
So what I do is I just, flatten it down a little bit like that. I'm going to take the knife, and parallel to the board, I'm going to, see I've got my hand on top like that, and then just slice it along this way.
Okay.
And here's why. Here's why I'm thinning it out first. I'm cutting it that way, because sometimes it can be just so thick. And with stir fry, you do want it to be thinner.
Okay.
So now,
you've got
two thin pieces. And
well, that's one way to get a thin cut of chicken breast, right?
Exactly. And so this one, you see it ripped through a little bit. That's no big deal. It's all going to be going for stir fry. You just want these uniformly thin pieces.
Right, so that's basically just like strips of chicken, but you want them to be thin and not thick.
Exactly, because you could have just done the big, thicker bits, but then again, that will just take longer to cook, and a stir fry is supposed to be fast.
Right.
And so now you see, you've got pieces of this size that will cook quickly.
Perfect. So that's stir fry, and like you said, you can cut up a bunch of this, put it in a little bag in the freezer, and then you have it ready for when you want to make it on Tuesday.
Yep.
And it's all set and ready to go.
You're exactly right. So
good.
Now, if you can hand me the skewers and everything else that's sitting right there, the wax paper and all that.
You bet.
So here's how you can also thin out the chicken, if you want to make a cutlet, or if you want to cook the chicken uniformly. Because so often, if you are going to be cooking, see how it's thinner on one side and thicker on the other.
Right.
Well, one way to make it a uniform size is, if you just run your hand over, you can see it's thinner. Is to take a mallet, and not the bumpy side, so it's just going to rip everything, and then just pound it down that way. And just by pounding it, you don't have to give a lot of strength. The weight of the mallet will do it, and this will thin it out.
Yeah, you don't want like chicken confetti stuck to your cabinets. What is the bumpy side for?
That's for tenderizing beef. And I have never, ever, ever, once more, ever used this for that. So, but that's traditionally what it's used for.
Okay.
So you just use the flat
Or
side.
a back massager.
Well, that's exactly, or yeah, the itch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's what it's for.
So that's what you want to do it for.
So pound it out nice
Pound
and thin.
Whatever size you want, or even if you just pound down a little bit just to get a uniform size for uniform cooking all along the way.
Right, okay.
So now let's talk about skewers.
Okay.
And what we do, I like skewers where it's just one bite. You can have any size you want, but say it's one bite.
Yeah, I want to take one bite off the skewer. I don't want to be taking multiple, because then what if it falls off the skewer and then the dog gets it,
Exactly. You're having a cocktail party and you're holding the adult beverage in one hand.
Right,
That's
exactly.
So
cut it right down the center.
now, sometimes if this is bigger, you can cut it into thirds, but I like the size of this.
Okay.
And similar to what we did with the nuggets, but go a bit smaller.
A little.
This is about a ½ an ounce each. You don't have to weigh it, but that's really more if you're trying to figure out how much you want to buy if you're going to be doing skewers.
Okay.
And so now, this came up with about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This came up with 12 pieces.
Wow.
And so here you've got the skewer, and you just skewer through however you want to do it, whichever side, and you've got the one bite.
Oh, I gotcha. Now, if you wanted to make this and marinate it, would you marinate it on the skewer or marinate it first and then put it on the skewer?
Marinate it first, and that just makes it a whole lot easier and faster.
Okay.
And then once it's been marinating for however long, I usually marinate no more than overnight, and then you just skewer them up. They're juicier and drippier, but that way you don't have to worry about that kind of
All
mess.
right, and we already showed how to do the cutlet because you take the wax paper, pound it down, make it nice and thin.
Yes.
So these are ways that you can take chicken breast and make it any shape and size you want for your family.
Exactly, and it's so cost effective. It gets exactly what you want. You know how to do it, and you don't have to pay extra to buy it in this different kinds of way. You determine how much you want, especially if you buy it in bulk. You now have 5, 6 different ways of doing it when you buy the family pack.
Right, exactly. Thanks so much, Chef Bill. And you could also even slice it and stuff some stuff in there like a little present.
Oh, well, let me show you that one.
Oh.
And I'll just be really quick with that.
Okay,
because
I'll let you do it.
You put in just a quick little slice in there and open it up. And you've opened a little pocket there, and that's a classic chicken Kiev, where you can put in different cheeses and ham and all kinds of things, and fold it up, and just close it up and bake it.
And that's a whole new way to eat your chicken.
It sure is.
Thanks so much, Chef Bill, for these chef secrets. And you can tune in next more for even more chef secrets with Chef Bill. For a copy of this recipe and more, visit us online, mymassappeal.com.